Nepalis in Europe that could come back and invest in Nepal and therefore reinforce that linkage with Europe. Into the night, clears my face of walls, makes my beauty show. The ocean smooth and clean, best I've ever seen. Soft and silky sheen, like a perfect dream. True skin makes me shine, feeling so divine. Beauty I can find in the skin of mine.
Growth and stability is something that's very big with us, big with EU as well, right here in Nepal. There's so many different sectors that we're talking off air as well, and so many different sectors that we could definitely enhance and work towards, not just for our neighbors, not just for trade and economy, but even with Europe, we could do many things together. I'll jump into economy straightforward, Your Excellency. 1.5 years right here. You've seen the world from developing nations to nations that have already been developed. You've been a part of them, from Thailand to Somalia to all across the world. Where do we stand today when it comes to economy and when it comes to trade as well? We could do much more together?
We could do much more together. Nepal, I believe Nepal stands today at a critical juncture. It faces the growth hasn't been good, the productive capacity is still narrow and shallow, but the potential is there. The potential, it's difficult. It's a landlocked country, and so in terms of kind of staple agriculture, for instance, it's very difficult to be competitive with India. But in agriculture, you have very specific commodities grown in Nepal and only in Nepal that can have a market. So I think it's about finding segments, high-value segments that can work for Nepal. That's in agriculture. Of course, you have the huge potential, and that's probably the most the sector with most potential. That's renewable energy, and hydro in particular. And that's still, I think, there Nepal is making strides forward and taking the opportunities as they come. It's a sector that's growing very fast. And of course, I mean, what I like to talk most about is the ICT sector. Yeah. This is a sector that doesn't suffer from transaction costs, from high transport costs. It doesn't suffer from Nepal being landlocked. It benefits from a constant energy supply, good internet. That's a sector that's been growing. If we look at the last 3-4 years, it's a sector with a lot of potential. And most importantly, that has created a lot of jobs. We estimate, I mean, again, data is approximate, but we talk about 80,000 jobs being created from there. And I think this has huge potential moving forward.
And more things we could do with friends in Europe, more integration that we could collaborate together, skill sharing that we could do in the future.
Absolutely. This sector spans. If you look at the whole supply chain, you start with the training, right? At the moment, most of the existing companies do in-house training because they don't feel that the training available out there is appropriate. So this is something where we could, and we're planning to invest in future. And of course, the intention is to create greater linkages with European firms. And there, I think, we can go a bit more into this when we talk about the diaspora, but this is where I think the diaspora can play a very important role. As you know, the figures of Nepalis going to Europe have been growing exponentially. Yeah. And so we're trying again. We're trying to get the data together. We're trying to have a better picture of what it looks like. But ultimately, the objective is to see what is the pool of Nepalis in Europe that could come back and invest in Nepal, and therefore reinforce that linkage with Europe.
Do we have anything concrete yet when it comes to data, like a number that we could definitely work with, the diaspora number?
I think if you look at the official numbers, it's, the curve has really grown like this.
I know, since 2000, in the past 25 years.
No, in the past
Recent?
3-4 years, it really has picked up. And I think the official figures are around 100,000 Nepalis in the European Union. Unofficial figures, counting the UK as well, talk about 1 million Nepalis. So we need to, it's a big gap. We need to do a bit more homework to try and find out where exactly we are.
And how can we go ahead and make sure that they come back, or they at least go ahead and share skills, so that we could definitely go ahead and have a better sector here. Something that, again, I keep on coming back to youth, even when we were talking earlier as well. Youth engagement in not just in local level, but in urban levels as well. That's something that's very important with me as well, and I believe that's important with the EU as well. What all are we doing when it comes to youth, Your Excellency?
So I think, first of all, whenever we design something, whenever we design any action, the youth are very much at the core of it. So we really mainstream, always look at youth. We do have, as you know, something we call the Youth Sounding Board, and that's a cohort. It's the third year we have it, of 30 young people, and this year they're from across the country. Yeah. And they're really part and parcel of our work. We take them on missions. They participate in the meetings we have, and it's a great learning opportunity for them to see what exactly we're doing here. What is the European Union about in Nepal? But it's also a great opportunity for us to understand their point of view and how they see, and they give us feedback on what we're doing. Are we doing the right thing? Are we forgetting something? Are we addressing the right priorities? Very enriching.
I know, and share some pictures as well. We know a lot of, we've seen pictures of it, and a lot of young friends. There you go. A lot of young friends coming together, and I just wanted to share this with everybody. Do you meet them? Do you spend a little bit of time with them as well?
I do. Yeah, we have regular meetings, and they came. Then they either come in groups, and we meet here in Kathmandu. But we also, the last few missions I've done to Madhesh, to Karnali, to Sudupashin, we always have the 2 or 3 from the region to come and accompany us. Who also give us the ground truths.
There's another thing, since we were talking about the youth, Nepal-EU in climate action and green growth. I was reading up on that as well, and again, Nepal-EU in climate action and green growth. Those last two things I want to touch base on that. I know you're very big on it as well. We have to work together as a planet to come, and I'm talking about the 30 million of us right here in Nepal. We stand in crossroads. There are a lot of things that we inherited, which we probably didn't take part in, and now we have to go ahead and work along with the rest of the world to make sure that we have a better planet for the next generation. Your thought process on things that we could do better, that we could work towards better.
So, and you're right, we're big on it because the green economy, green growth has become our new development model. In fact, our new growth model. When we talk growth, we talk green growth. And we have to change, and it's possible. If you look at what's been happening in Europe over the past 5 years, let's say, in terms of very successful energy transition, very successful new business models that rely on more energy efficiency, on different methods, and that, in actual fact, creates growth. And this is what we're trying to these are the lessons we're trying to share with Nepal. And that makes sense also for the economic model of Nepal. So we have programs in energy efficient construction, for instance. That makes sense. We've invested a lot on renewable energy, also betting on the energy transition of Nepal. For itself, to create the foundation for other sectors to grow, but also as a foreign currency earner, because Nepal has the potential to export to the region. This is big. When we talk about more specific matters and where Nepal could contribute, I think there's a lot. It's often the victim of what happens in the region, but there are lots of things it can do on its own. And I would pick one singular item that's very close to my heart, and that's waste management. The waste is getting out of control in Nepal and as incomes increase and disposable income increases, mainly through remittances, you see lots of plastic waste accumulating everywhere. And that's not been, there've been cleanup campaigns, there's been quite a lot of effort. But somehow I feel it's not been sufficiently integrated to truly address the problem.
तपाईले हाम्रो क्लिप एकदमै एन्जॉय गर्नुभयो होला। अब पुरै भिडियो हेर्नको लागि चाहिँ YouTube मा सब्स्क्राइब गर्न नबिर्सिनु होला। व्यास मिडिया नेटवर्क।